All right, guys, we are back on our next episode, and I'm so excited. I have a brother here, David Hughes, and we just came back from a conference, being on fire, awesome time of God, and I got to meet him in person because we always chat over Zoom, and he is one of my coaches, and I'm so glad to have him as a coach and his wife. They're just super awesome, on fire, love God, but they also understand the importance of having an abundant life. So before I go any further, let me go ahead and introduce him. His name is David Hughes. He is passionate about living a maximized life and empowering others to do the same. He is an author, speaker, entrepreneur, business owner, investor, licensed realtor, real estate investor, and real estate investment coach. David, what don't you do? You're a man of many talents, brother. And since an early age, David dreamed of owning a business and having the freedom to live a live life full time with his future wife, family, pursuing all of their dreams together. David is diligent and passionate to provide clients with excellent service, has always been his number one goal in business. David turned, and I like this, get this, guys, David turned $12,000 into over $3 million worth of real estate on a part-time basis. And we're going to be talking about real estate. So over the last 13 years, he's created a personal portfolio of over 24 investment properties, has helped countless others find success in real estate investing. David loves helping people find, follow, and fulfill their God-given dreams and purposes. And David met his wife, his love of his life, Katie Marie, and now have a beautiful baby boy, Gabriel. David, welcome to the show.
Yo, thank you so much for having me, man. I'm so thankful for you putting this together and all that you do. And I'm just blessed to be here and so excited to share anything I can do to help your audience along the way. So thanks so much, man.
Yeah. And you know what? You and I, we work underneath you. You're my coach about real estate. I've been in real estate for almost 20 years, but I have dabbled in it a bit. I've touched upon it. And what is it that real estate for our audience does for you? What kind of vehicle is that for you guys? And you can please be liberal in telling your story, because I want them to know about God's abundance and what real estate has to do with that in your life.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. It's become years ago it became a passion. It's what set me free. What I call set me forever free. Because there's sometimes people go through seasons of financial freedom, but it doesn't last forever. And what I love about real estate is the day that I became financially free years ago in my 20s, it was a forever freedom day, meaning perpetual prosperity in terms of financial freedom and abundance. And that's what was my first level of passion, was to get myself free, right? It's hard to help other people become free if you're not free yourself, whether that's in your health, in your finances, in your relationships, whatever areas of life that you want to help others. You first have to help yourself to a good enough degree where your life is a living illustration and inspiration and education to those that come in contact with you, whether that's directly in person or online or your story or whatever. So that's what's so exciting about what I call the progression of your passion, right? There's a progression to your passion. My first passion was, and high desire was, I want to live free. Right? Many of your listeners, you all listening right now, you probably, if you're not already financially free, I'm excited to let you know it's closer and easier than you realize. I'm living proof. Many of our students, many of the people we've helped along the way, and now just recently, Joe and Violet came into our world. We're so excited that they recently connected to students. But so this is what we live and breathe. One of the things that we do is helping other people get unlocked and unleashed to live not just financially free, because that's what you pass through on the way to living what you said, Joe, the true abundant life. Because most people think that their ultimate dream is to reach financial freedom, to own their time, where they can live life, have full-time freedom, financial freedom to be more with their spouse, their children, the things they're passionate about doing. But I let people know, don't get stuck wandering around in Freedomville. I'll say that again. When we look in the greatest success book of all time, God's people, the Israelites, he sent Moses, a leader, with a message, of good news, matter of fact, great news, that you don't have to stay stuck in a limited life living in the environment of Egypt. There's a promised land that's prepared for you that's more abundant than you can even imagine, but you got to have enough faith to take the first step and keep stepping along the way. And faith without works is dead, so it's action. So they did take action, even as scary as it might have been along the way, to follow Moses out of their place of bondage. But then they found themselves wandering around in Freedomville, what I call, for years. Matter of fact, their whole life till they died off, that generation, and then the young generation came into the promised land. If you don't know the story, you can go read it. But the point of that is this. Our whole approach is this. Real estate is an amazing vehicle. To answer that question, I love that question you kicked off with, Joe, because you can tell I'll get wound up and excited about this. And just so y'all know, this is me being calm. If I let myself go, I'll be out running around. I get so excited about not only what it's done for our life, but literally what this proven process and path and the vehicle of real estate that we've been blessed and fortunate to plug other people into. It's beyond our dreams. We get to not only live the life of beyond all of our dreams together, my wife and I, our family, but helping other people do that. To me, there's nothing greater in life than living your greatest life and helping others do the same. Not the same exactly what you're doing, helping others do the same, meaning helping them live their greatest life. What is that? The God dreams. What are those God dreams that are locked up inside of most people, and they're not living those dreams? And so we use real estate as a vehicle to position people in and show them how to drive it as a co-pilot, sit in there and show them, shift the gear. Here's how you drive this amazing vehicle to anywhere you want to go, right? At whatever speed you want to go, to become not just financially free, but move through financial freedom. That's just something you'll experience on your path of living in financial freedom and abundance. Because I tell it like this. A lot of people talk about, the buzzword cash flow. Oh, cash flow, make money while you sleep. Raise your hand if you want to make money while you sleep. All the hands go up, right? Everybody wants to make money while you sleep. I've been making money while I sleep for many years. My wife and I, we make money, not from one place and not just from just real estate, but multiple different things, rushing rivers of revenue. And it's an amazing thing, right? Because we get to spend all the time together with each other and all the things that we're able to help more people and all that. But here's the focal point. I tell people like this. No, you don't need cash flow in your life. That's not, cash flow in and of itself isn't life-changing, right? I mean, $100 a month while you're sleeping, that's cash flow. $1,000 a month while you're sleeping, that's cash flow. What's that going to do? That's not going to propel you in full force forward to all your dreams and untapped potential inside of you from a financial standpoint. What you need is, rather than cash flow, you need cash overflow. That's what you need. You need cash overflow, because when you live a life positioned as a conduit where cash overflow is flowing into your life and through your life, that's when you're really unlocked and unleashed to live out without limitation all those untapped dreams, potential, passions, callings, purposes inside of you. And that, to me, is the only life worth living, is us fully pursuing all of our dreams, passions, God-given desires inside of our heart, to be blessed, to be more of a blessing to those around us. And by the way, let me throw this in there, Joe, just so I know we have a mix of all the listeners. Some maybe have a relationship with God, some don't. Maybe of the people who do have a relationship with God, there's different beliefs and all that mixed in. So I just want to say there's a lot that I don't know, but I do know this. The things that I share today, they're not theory or concept or theology or opinion or even belief. They're things that I know, like I know 2 + 2 is 4, because it's experiential knowledge, perpetually these principles that we live and we experience and that are manifested in our own lives, manifestations of, and many people that we help as well. And I wanted to say this about cash overflow. Most people don't realize this, or have never thought about it. Just like me, been in church all my life, all that around church at least, and grew up in Christian school. But I never thought about this till in the last year or two. Do you realize Jesus lived a life of cash overflow? He lived a life. Go read it. There were a couple, 2 specific wealthy women that I've read in there that were funding his ministry, and a lot of other people that were sowing in his ministry. Matter of fact, early on, not long after he was born, what happened? These wealthy, wise men, they show up and read the different translations of the Bible. I mean, it was, what was it? Gold, frankincense, myrrh, very valuable. In one translation I read, it says they opened their treasuries. Think about that. Why? And we could talk about all the reasons, but I believe it's really cool because one of the commentaries in the Bible talked about how it looks like one of the big purposes of that was that funded their next, whatever it was, couple years where they kind of went and hid. So Joseph didn't have to work, right? There was more than enough. Somebody need to say more than enough. Always. Our Father God is not just enough or not enough Father. No, he's always a Father of more than enough. So anyway, I got to get calmed down to get to the rest of your questions, because I'll get going, man. I get so excited. So your question about real estate is this.
Yep.
We have multiple businesses, multiple companies, and we're serial entrepreneurs, probably like a lot of your listeners. A lot of your listeners, maybe you own a business, maybe you are an employee, whatever the case may be. These principles you can take a hold of there and take action on this information today, and you will watch your life. Not maybe so, hope so. The thing I love about the greatest success book of all time, the Bible, it isn't a maybe so, hope so, or it works for some people sometime thing. It works all the time, perfectly, perpetually, period. The only variable in the equation is us, humans, right? God's word does not return void. It accomplishes exactly what it set forth out of his mouth to accomplish. It's perfectly, perpetually productive, precisely all the time. It's just a matter of us renewing our mindset and our heart set and position ourselves in alignment with the principles so that we can experience the benefits and the blessings of what his principles are meant to produce in our lives and through our lives. And so you take a hold of these principles and these things that we're sharing today. Doesn't matter if you're the owner of the company, the CEO, or the employee, or whatever. If you internalize these things, marinate, meditate on them, and act on them, and live them out, you will watch your life multiply. Like Joe was talking about, it doesn't matter where you're at in your level of living right now financially. There is more. There's actually, matter of fact, there's way more realms for you to step into. You might be at the greatest place, the most abundant place, maybe even beyond what you ever knew you could be financially. There's way more for you to grow into, step into, be utilized as a conduit to impact more people, generate more income, to direct into the places. Maybe you're in the worst place financially. Maybe you're doing okay. But what I do know is that with these principles, we're meant to grow and flourish and be more and more fruitful and productive along the way. We can see it all throughout the Bible. Job, double portion at the end, right? What he went through. Joseph, right? Abraham, David, on and on and on. Like Joe said, and I love your podcast, Joe, because God is a good God, a good Father that wants to bless the people that seek him first and put him first. So that it's like all you parents, you love blessing your children, right? And real estate for us became that core vehicle and passion. And really, a lot of times the business is owning them more than they're owning the business. And so I decided years ago what I wanted, and let me pause, Joe, when in this answer to your question, to give some context for people to know that, yes, today my wife and I, we own multiple businesses. We live in Southwest Florida by the beach here. We live in our dream place on the planet. We live our life is beyond all of our dreams, and our health, relationships, finances, businesses, everything, our impact, giving, all the different things. But that wasn't always the case. I grew up in an amazing home with amazing parents and learned faith and trust in God. But in the financial area of life, it was really bad. It was stress, strain, struggle. My dad battled depression on and off throughout the years to where he ultimately took his life. And that's important for you all to know. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're at or where you're at right now or where you've been. The great news, I've shown up here today. Joe invited me to share some things to encourage you and let you know. All those things are irrelevant to where you can go from this day forward. And it's all about leadership, which we're going to talk about today, positioning and aligning your heart set and mindset on these true principles. Anybody starting from anywhere can go to new, greater place, the greatest stage of your life in front of you. If, my favorite word in my favorite book is if. If you're willing and obedient, you will eat the best of the land. If then, covenant promises all throughout the word. Just get in there, read it, do it, live it, and you will watch your life just get propelled into freedom and abundance. So growing up in that environment, I remember making a decision early on in my life. I didn't want to be in that position where stress, strain, struggle in the marriage, wondering how to pay bills, keep the house, all these things, because that wouldn't work for several years at a time, right? Battling depression, all that, moms waiting tables, trying to keep food on the table. And again, we had an amazing family, wouldn't trade it for the world, amazing parents, siblings, and that was awesome. When the area of finances, and mainly due to my dad's depression and battling that, it was just really bad. My parents ended up actually filing bankruptcy a couple different times over 30 years of marriage. And so growing up in that environment and seeing the impact and the stress of the marriage and all those things, I just said, you know what? I have no idea how, and this is key for y'all to grab a hold of. You don't need to know how. You need to make a decision to go in a direction of your dreams. This is key. You want the answer? This is the answer right here. I've never known, probably ever maybe, the how. All these dream companies we have now, all the impact we're making on people all over the world, and all the things that are happening. I didn't know the how along the way, but what I did do is I made a decision to go in the direction of my dreams. My dreams of impacting people, the dreams of having total time freedom, financial freedom for our family, all the different dreams in our heart that we've been doing and continue dreaming and doing, right? So my point to all that is this. Let me kind of wrap this up so we can get more of your questions, Joe. You can tell, man, you ask such amazing questions, you get me wound up, just pouring out, unlock the floodgate here. So for me, growing up in an environment, this is important. You all know that context and the background story. I've lived on both sides of money for a long time in my life, the majority still at this age. I lived on the other side of money, because all of you all listen, you're on one of two sides of money. You're either on the side of money where you're having to work for money, meaning you trade time for money. You're on a salary or hourly, or you own your business. You're having to trade time. You're having to show up to make sales, trading time for dollars, okay, of your life. Not saying that's good or bad. That's just what it is. Okay, that's living on this side of money where you work for money. This side of money, money works for you. And what's even better than that, which is what we've discovered and been living for many years and helping other people do, is we're not content or satisfied. We're not satisfied, I should say, with just money working for us. Again, that's cash flow. We want money working hard and diligently and excellently and multiplying itself for us in maximized efficient ways. And that's simple to do. Anybody can plug into these things and learn these things, just like you learn how to walk, ride a bike, speak, write the English language. How hard is that? Raise children. All these things that you learn to do are actually much harder than learning, much more difficult, much more complex than learning how to step over the line and reposition yourself to getting money to work for us. Whether or not we believe it, that's the truth of the matter. And the reason a lot of people have a hard time believing that is because we've been conditioned our whole lives to believe the opposite. What have we been conditioned our whole lives to believe? Money is hard to come by. You got to, how you become successful? Work hard, outwork competition. I say, no, forget that. Work smarter than harder. Even better than working smarter. You know what? Work hard to enter rest. That's what the success book says. So what I love about it is position ourselves where when my wife and I are on the beach enjoying ourselves, we have rushing rivers of revenue, not only flowing, but growing without us doing anything. That to me is an answer, and I could say much more about that, but to answer your question, Joe, that's a little bit of the answer of why real estate is so powerful. Anybody from anywhere can plug into it, position themselves, and experience all that we've experienced and more, and so many other people have. It's no secret.
Oh man.
It's just a matter of, knowing how to do it the right way. That's the key. Like you said, you've dabbled in it through the years, all of that, but and we're big on mentoring as well. We have mentors, coaches in our life. We always have, always will. And so that's really the key. But the difference between real estate and really everything else out there is just many different things.
Yes.
Just the way it grows, the appreciation, the tax benefits, the tax-free money you're able to pull out and liquidate equity out and leverage that and multiply it. Many different things, able to acquire real estate with no money out of pocket, no credit necessary on a part-time basis. All these things we've done and help many people do. So it makes it very unique if we're talking about real estate specifically, in contrast or comparison to just owning a business in general, or being an entrepreneur, or doing some other thing that might require a lot of capital, a lot of marketing, a lot of employees, or a certain amount of that, versus over here, by learning certain levers, we call them, you're able to really do some powerful things in a short amount of time. Again, that's really the core of the whole message of why real estate has been so powerful for us and many others, because anyone can do this on a part-time basis, no money out of pocket, no credit, to position themselves, their family, their future, to really live fully into all those dreams. Let me calm down, man. You got me lit up already.
No.
At the beginning.
I got you.
I'm so excited to be here.
No, I want them to see your fire for this, because I talk about it all the time to folks, and what David is saying is so true. This vehicle is used to where it's making money for you. And I'll give you guys an example of my own personal life. Look, we've traveled around in the military, and we've had to buy homes and everything else like that. And I'll tell you what, one strategy that I always tell people is that if you're buying your first home, look into your county, look into your state to see if they have first-time home buyer programs that provide grants. And what is grant? A grant is free money. And people say, well, I don't know, because you said it, buying a home with no money down and things of that nature. There are so many strategies out there that David helps people go through, because if you're going into real estate, you want to have people behind you that have experience, that know the ins and outs, that know the hurdles, the pitfalls, to help you be successful in real estate. And in real estate is an investment. Buying or investing in a coach like David and his organization, Simplified Investing, is an investment tool that can help you triple what you've invested into the coach. Because I give you all an example. We bought one of our homes in Southwest Florida. We were in Fort Myers, right? And we had to move. And we've always seen people say, oh, they sell their house, whatever. I'm like, why am I going to sell my house? My home that I have to vacate can be turned into a vehicle that brings money in, can appreciate on its own if I get a renter in there. And I'm not going to be the landlord. We invested in a property management company to manage it for us, deal with all the whatever inspections and everything else like that. And David knows this. And guess what? It appreciated earning money, making money while we were in another town. And like maybe once a year, I had to get a phone call from the property management guy, say, hey, we'd like to do this or that, whatever. And guess what? That property, and I'm not saying this to boast, and I'm not saying this to say, yeah, pat my own back. I'm just saying this to give you guys an example of what it can do for you. In less than 10 years, we had no money out of pocket for that house. No money out of pocket. We only paid what? Maybe $200 for an appraisal. But in 10 years, it made us $80,000 tax-free. Come on, David. $80,000.
Hey, who couldn't use an extra 80,000?
Look, no money out of pocket except for $200 for the appraisal. It was paying for itself. It appreciated on itself. We sold it, and that helped us to go into retirement. Can you tell? No one can say that there's another vehicle where you're putting zero money into it and you get 80,000 back tax-free. Come on, man. And so
it's so powerful. I wanted to add this to what you're saying. And I'm so glad you said that, Joe, because what it is in life, because I'm always thinking about this. I'm always thinking, what are the main things that are the holdups and the hangups for people not living their dreams? Just look around. A lot of the listeners here, maybe you right now listen to this, maybe you're living your dreams to a degree. Maybe you're not living them at all. Maybe, but the great news is this. I've found this to be true in my own life and many people that we've been blessed to be able to help, is that it's actually surprisingly small shifts in thought and learning things, because we don't know what we don't know, that keep us from stepping forward into the limitless life. That you were designed, not only were you designed and equipped to live a limitless life, you're invited into it every day perpetually. You were created in the image of a limitless God to live a limitless life. The only variable of that equation is, do we believe it and agree with that truth, or are we believing a lie from somebody else? Because if you don't believe that, my question to you is, who told you that? Did God tell you you couldn't live all of your dreams and beyond? Or did some other person, or did you tell yourself that? Or did you let some situation, circumstance tell you a lie that we believe? Because all of us have lied to ourselves over and over about different things to different degrees for different amounts of time. When I learned to stop lying to myself and listening to other people that aren't telling me what God says, and I just chose to do one simple thing, agree with the one who created me, what he says about me and what I can do, which is all things, by the way. It says you can do all things through Christ. So if you're in him and you're seeking him, putting him first, there's no limit. It's all the promises are all throughout there. It says, to the one who believes, nothing shall be impossible to that person. This isn't a maybe so, hope so stuff. So whether it's real estate as a vehicle to financial freedom or anything else, launching your dream business, as long as you, and Joe, I know this your podcast, which I love, is all about leader talk. And a couple notes I wrote down about that is, if I had to boil it down, because you and I, Joe, we could talk for, and most people could talk for hours sharing thoughts about the whole topic of leadership. Probably thousands of books have been written about and all that. And so I was thinking today before I got on here with you, and I thought, how would I boil it down if I had to into one word? And for me, there's probably a lot of different words that I could use as one word that would mean a lot to do with leadership and how I perceive it and what it means or looks like or plays out in life. But I believe it comes down to positioning or alignment. Now, what does that mean? I'm talking about alignment or positioning. I'm using them interchangeably as kind of synonyms in this context, but alignment and positioning of your mindset and your heart set. Because here's the thing. How am I going to lead a marriage, a household, a child, children, a business, employees, anything, anybody, anywhere worthwhile going, if I'm not first leading myself well enough, that's going to make a ripple effect impact where people should follow, want to follow, and will get benefit, right? And even in the greatest success book of all time, it says it right there. I believe it was Paul, somewhere in there. You can go look it up, where it talks about follow me as I follow Christ, saying, hey, if you see anything in my life that is fruit that you want to have, financial freedom, abundance, and vitality, health, joyous. I'm so googly over my wife. We've been married 6 years, more googly every day. I never knew marriage could be this amazing. I did, but I didn't, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I dreamed of maybe, but it's beyond all my dreams, because when we do things God's way, whether it's in our marriage, our health, our finances, business, it will be exceedingly abundantly above all that you've ever dreamed, hoped, or imagined, because that's just who he is and what he does and how he does, if and when we choose to what? Position and align our mindset, our heart set, because everything else follows that. Our thoughts, actions, our words, and actions will follow the positioning and the alignment of our mindset and heart set. That's why he said, above all else, seek wisdom. What's he talking about? Above all else, because we got to align, we got to renew our mind daily. And know enough. I know enough to know that I don't know how to love my wife perfectly, abundantly, all day, every day, in every context, every situation, every scenario, even close. But thank God I do know the one who made her, who does know how to sweep her off her feet all day, every day. So I seek him for wisdom in that, wisdom in relationships, wisdom in real estate. That's why the abundance flows. But back to your point on real estate, Joe, I mean, we could sit here and talk for hours just on powerful examples alone, how we've leveraged real estate, no money out of pocket, to generate large lump sums, like hundreds of thousands of dollars of tax-free money from the asset that we still own and control, that's generating us income, yet simultaneously we get all the tax benefits, write-offs, we get tax-free income through depreciation, we get wealth building happening while we sleep that other people are paying for, legacy wealth. We get lump sums of tax-free money by liquidating equity out of the properties, aka borrowing against these income-producing assets that are still paying for themselves after the fact, to literally access tax-free money, tens of thousands. Well, we've accessed hundreds of thousands, maybe even over 1 million at this point. I'd have to look. To do what with? Reinvest, multiply, enjoy some of it, right? Enjoy life. But you all, anybody can do this. Even this home that we're sitting in here, Joe, you shared a personal example, and I can share many as well, but I'll just share one quick one. Just this personal home that we live in, we bought it, renovated it, increased the value to where we turned around, refinanced it, and we increased our net worth in our own personal home here by over, well, right now, let's see, we've been here for like 3 years. In the first year, we increased it by $115,000 just by our improvements to it. That's net. That's after our cost of improvements. That's net profit equity, 115,000 increase of net worth equity. And then plus appreciation since then, we've gained a total of about $220,000 worth of actual equity. Why is that important? This is just one of the many levers and many strategies in your own home that you can build wealth, not just build wealth, but then turn around and leverage that equity into cash, tax-free, to reinvest and multiply. How do you do that? Acquire income-producing assets that are paying you while you sleep. So again, I mean, we could share so many examples, not only in our own life, but our students' lives, of literally accessing large lump sums of tax. I mean, Joe, again, I came from nothing. My dad took his life financially. I came from, people talk about this. Oh, I'm broke. I was like, listen, if you're at zero, you were better than we were. Like we were way less than zero. We were growing up in our household, because dad wasn't working. The only option was like debt, right? Credit cards and everything. They had to file bankruptcy. So we were way less than $0. It was debt negative. So coming from that to where, years living on this side, it's just way better on this side of money. And there's no reason, it's unnecessary for you to not live in financial freedom and abundance. It's unnecessary. A lot of people just think, well, it's not for me, it's for somebody else, or I don't know what no, I'm telling you, it's completely unnecessary for you. Really, if I really told the truth, whether people want to believe this or not, I was thinking about this the other day. Any of us not living in financial freedom and abundance comes down to one thing, I believe. Some people might want to debate me on this, but I believe it comes down to one thing. It's a choice. It's a choice.
Come on.
I could have chose to stay and not learn the things I need to learn, not invest in mentors and coaches I need to do to get where I wanted to go, to follow the people that had in their life what I wanted in my life, financial freedom, abundance, and all that. And here's what my mom always used to say, and I love this. By people say, no, well, I'm not choosing to not be financially free. And I'm here to tell you, yes, you are. Because by refusing to choose, you are choosing to stay. So by refusing, you are choosing. So it's kind of like with salvation. Well, I'm not saying no to God. Well, really you are. If you're not choosing to say yes by refusing to make a decision, you just made your decision. So,
right.
So we don't get to escape making a decision. If we refuse to make the decision of personal growth, development, move in the direction of our dreams, do the thing, learn the things that we need to know to go where we need to go to take our family and do the things, that is a choice. We're choosing to stay mediocre, stay stagnant, stay good enough, stay better than average, while forfeiting the great life that God has asked us, instructed, and commanded us to live as our thanks back to Him for this life that He's given us. And let me say one other thing on that, Joe. A word's been on my heart today. I'm actually going to make a post about this sometime soon. Is that many people are committing abortion daily. They've never thought about this. But this word hit me a divine download recently. I've done it many days of my life, but no more. I pray I don't ever do this again. Many people, you listen right here, most of the listeners are committing abortion daily. They are aborting over and over their dreams. Their God-given dreams, talents, purposes, that highest, best use of their life for what? Comfort zones, convenience, mediocrity, familiarity, what other people think, what other people say, other people's opinions. For all these other reasons, they are allowing, maybe it's not conscious, but subconsciously, we are allowing ourselves to abort those God-given dreams, passions, purposes. I encourage you all and challenge you all today, listen to this, no matter who you are, where you're at, to stop today and start today saying yes to God's dreams of your life and go in that direction. You will be amazed and blown away all day, every day. Now, is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yes. Is it easy? Is it easy not living our dreams? No. I tell people, that's what's hard. What's hard is saying bye to your spouse. I'd love to be able to hang out with you, but I got to go to a job to pay bills. That's what's, to me, that's hard. Living, doing what we need to do to learn what we need to do to live our life of our dreams, that's easy. And compared to everything else, Joe, let me calm down and get back to your questions, man. I got so much I can say about this stuff, man. It is, we have declared, let me say this last thing. My wife and I have declared, I'm sorry, you might not, this listener be like, why'd you bring this crazy guy in here? Don't ever bring him back, man. He's just off the hook. Listen.
Until he's on fire.
My wife and I had declared war a long time ago on mediocrity. Now, where does that start? In our own lives. We say, hey, we've declared war on mediocrity in our own lives, because if we're going to lead anybody anywhere, it starts with us. How well am I leading myself? How well are we leading our household? How well are we living? Are we leading our lives enough to a degree that has abundant fruit where people look at and be like, man, I want what they got, that joy, that peace, that excitement for life, those pursuing their passions, their dreams, the financial freedom, the health, the marriage, the children. I want those. Okay. Well, the only way that's going to happen is if I'm daily learning and growing how to lead myself, my life, our marriage, our household. And that's actually something I want to say about this, about leadership, Joe. A word that I got a divine download recently is, and I believe this is the answer to life at the core, in the context, especially of what you talk about leadership. Know thyself, love thyself, lead thyself, in that order. Know thyself, love thyself, lead thyself. Now, this is a lifelong, ongoing self-discovery journey. And the only way we can, the only place, the only person, the only way we can ever get to know ourselves for the real self, not who we think we are and who we think we're not, because that's all a facade and a lie and a deception, is to spend time with God, wholeheartedly devotion, saying, God, show me who you made me to be. Because the you that He made you to be is the coolest person you've ever met. I guarantee you. There is a you inside of you. I heard somebody say this recently. There's a you inside of you that you've never met. The only way that's going to get fully realized and unlocked and unleashed and you become that more and more along your life is we have to first, before all the million of other things, spend time with God, personally, alone, on a consistent basis, to ask him, God, show me who I am, who you've made me to be, and help me become that today so I can be the spouse I want to be, the father I want to be, the business person I want to be, the encourager to people. And that's the knowing myself, and help me love myself. Because we all have battled along our way those internal things, insecurity, self-hatred, all these things, what we don't like about ourselves. No, he cleanses all that away and shows you how to love yourself and see yourself like he sees you, which only he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's the purpose of us getting to know ourselves, the real self that he made, and love ourselves? Why? What's the ultimate reason? Joe, it's what you're here doing, teaching people. It's so that we can lead ourselves. It's so that I can actually lead myself from the inside out with the mindset and the heart set, and become the man on an ongoing basis along the way that he wants me to be, not that I come up with and conjure up and manufacture. Because from that place, everything, abundance in all other areas of my life will flow. Abundance in my marriage, abundance in our health and businesses and finances and our family and children and relationships and all the things that I'm called to be and do and have. Influence and all those things.
Look. David's on fire, folks.
One other thing in my note, or do we need to get back to another?
No.
What question you got?
No. I want to compliment what you've been saying, because I know there's some people out there say, what does this all got to do with real estate? It has everything to do with real estate. If we can't be right in our own mind with our Heavenly Father, right about who we are in him, we can't lead ourselves into the abundant life and use a tool like real estate appropriately, so it can be an actual tool that flows in abundance to live that life that we always want to lead. It all starts with leadership. It all starts with our mental acuity about who we are and how we can lead. Because I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna give you a real quick example. I graduated from high school literally a failure. I failed. I didn't actually graduate with my class in high school. So I had a mentality that, oh man, I'm not smart enough, whatever. I had to go to summer school to actually get the credits to graduate. So I actually graduated later than my class. And if I would have kept that mindset that I'm not smart enough, I didn't even graduate high school. Look, a person who did not graduate high school with his peers, barely graduated with a C, can be successful in real estate. Why aren't you being successful in real estate? Why aren't you taking those steps to be successful, to utilize real estate as a tool for yourself to grow, to leave a legacy, if you even want to leave a legacy with your future generations, so they can have wealth, a wealth building engine like real estate. Look, if I can do it, if David can do it, you guys can do it. And that's what David's here. That's what he's been to wrap this all up. You have to have the mindset to go in there and do it. It's not hard. It's just taking that time to find out what vehicle you actually want to use in real estate, because there's many vehicles in real estate. It's not just buying and selling. There's buying and holding. There's buying and flipping, buying multiple things, using the leverage, like he was saying, to refinance, get that money out, to use it to invest in something else, to multiply your investments in real estate. Many different ways to invest in real estate. We just touched upon a little bit. But David, you're on fire, brother. And that's what I want them to see, that this is something that is exciting to get into. It's not some big behemoth out there that only people with money can get into it. I got into it with no money down. You did a deal in a bio that we talked about for $12,000, but you've done deals with no money down too.
Most all of them. Of the dozens of properties we've acquired, probably all of them except for one or two, we've done with no money out of our pocket. And so I love everything you're saying, Joe, because, you know, when we think about it, if we asked all the listeners right now, raise your hand if you're not already financially free and want to be, and you want to be financially free, raise your hand. All the hands will go up. Every human wants financial freedom. Every human wants to be able to have options in life, more for their family, more time, all that. So why are most people not? It's because of everything you just said. They don't know what they don't know, and they don't know what they need to know. So if they try to go at it at their own or whatever, and try to piece it all together and then scrape their knee and fall down a couple of times in the experience of real estate, then it's just like, oh, it's not for me, or I can't do it, or whatever. Where all along the way, all along the time, there's a path that you can step on that's proven, that works, that anybody can get on. And I love what you said, because it's the opposite. It's not like you said, we think, a lot of people think, oh, you got to have money to make money. That's a lie. So there are many lies that people believe, but that's one of them. But it's the opposite of what you just said, the truth. You said, it's not like we think these big behemoth business people. No. Matter of fact, the majority of our students we've helped have been, just like you, just like the listeners, just like us. When we started, like, very limited time, next limited or no money, and yet we plug them into a process. We have one student, I mean, we can share examples for days. We have one, I love it. He said, he had $100 to his name in his bank account. He was waiting tables, scraping by when we started mentoring him. And that was just 3 years ago. And he's going to make over $500,000 this year at age 24 years old, And so he started leveraging real estate with no money in a pocket, no credit, on a part-time basis. And that's just one of many examples. But the last couple of things out, and anything else you want to say as we wrap up today?
Well, before we go, I just want to make sure, how can they get a hold of you?
Oh,
we are going to put a link to your website so they can see all the products and everything that you have and the teachings. But how can they reach you, David?
Yes, thank you. Well, look, we're here to serve you, equip you, empower you all of you all that are listening to Joe's podcast here, in any way that we can. This is what lights us up. The reason you see, and again, this passion you're feeling and hearing, like, this is me, and Joe will tell you, dialed down. This is me on like 2. Because if I really let myself go with how excited I am about life and about helping you and helping anybody, I wouldn't be sitting here. I couldn't sit here. I'll be running around the house. You all, that's what happens. The excitement level of your life gets multiplied when you wake up every day and you pinch yourself. Every day, my wife and I, we wake up and we're so humble, so thankful. God, we're like, is this really our life? Do we really get to live this life that's beyond what we ever dreamed? And it continues. And even as great as that is, it gets better every day. Not just for us, because of all the people we're helping step into their dreams and living a life with no limits. You all, there's nothing better than that. Helping people, living your life and unleashing other people to live their life fully and freely and abundantly. There's just nothing that's the ultimate. That's what life's about. So yes, to find us, Joe, I know you've got the special link to get them over to our world and site and all of that. So make sure and check that out. Click it in his info there so that you all can message us if you have any questions after you check out the website, the information, everything, the buffet of benefits. I call it the Father's Feast that we roll out for you. We have multiple options, ways that we can serve you, help you meet and exceed all your financial goals and dreams, leveraging real estate as a vehicle. This is what we do. We're specialists in it. We've helped many people. We're excited to help you. So once you check out the information, the links that Joe posts here, if you have any questions, contact us. We're happy to answer your questions, serve you to whatever degree you're ready to be served in that regard. And I just wanted to say this in closing, that you mentioned free money. That's amazing. We talk a lot about that because we've experienced massive amounts of free money in our life. I'd already talked about it, leveraging tax-free money, actually pulling it from assets that are being paid for by other people, all those things. So as exciting as free money is, and that's great, take it up another notch, and it's what we call our life is we live for free. So could you imagine being able to live, so all of our dream vacations, our dream home, our dream car, our organic food, our giving fund that we give more and more every year all the time and get to bless people, just all the things in our dreams and make up our dream life. Actually, we don't have to pay for it. Could you imagine that? I want you to feel that for a minute. Close your eyes and sit in this and see what it would feel like for you to have a blank check, a shopping spree in life, where you could, not to be wasteful, to be a good steward, because those that are good stewards, it multiplies more and more, seed to the sower and all that. So it's not about, we get to live free, other people are paying our bills and everything, because all the tenants in our properties, they're paying our lifestyle and our blessing, all that, right? We've just set ourselves up in a positioning. We're landing the plane where we started, positioning. one of the things we specialize in showing people is just how to simply position you. All the abundance is flowing around you all day, every day. All you have to do is step to the side and get positioned to where it's flowing into your household instead of in and through and out of your household, right? So that's all we do. We've done it. We've helped many people do it. Positioning so that all these tenants and these properties, they're going to jobs and working and then paying for the home we provide that we didn't even pay for in the first place. And we own that home with $0 out of our pocket. Yet they're paying us for it, even though we have paid nothing for it. That way we live a limitless life of freedom for free. Free. This mortgage we have on our house, the grocery bills, the utility bills, our vacations, all that, we paid nothing for. Somebody else is paying for all that. Because we positioned ourselves to provide them with a service that we didn't even pay for. How beautiful. I'm not screaming at you. I'm excited for you because this is the beauty, you all, of positioning and living in the land of infinite ROI. If your financial advisor gets excited about giving you a 10% return a year or 20% or whatever, real estate blows all that out of the water. We put people in the land of limitless ROI, return on your investment. The hundreds of thousands of dollars that we receive a year in rental income and the millions of dollars of real estate and all that's flowing into our household. What's our ROI, return on investment? It's infinite, meaning you can't measure it because we have $0 out of pocket. Now, that $12,000 I started with, you say, oh, you invested $12,000. No, I did short term, got it back. I refinanced the property in a couple months. So after a couple months, I was $0 out of pocket on that first property I ever bought. So what that means is if I have not invested a single dollar in these millions of dollars worth of real estate that are pumping out $100,000 every year, what's my rate of return? What's my percentage of return every year? It's infinite. We've invested $0 out of pocket, yet it's pumping out all of that, right? Same for you. It's just positioning. And my last thing, two things is this, Joe, and cut me off, please, because I get so excited. Great and terrible. I want to leave you all with this: fake success and real success, and great and terrible. Two things. Wow. You talked about real estate, Joe. You said if all these humans say they want to be financially free, why are most not? It's this. Real estate's a great and terrible vehicle, both simultaneously. Lots of people have tried real estate and failed. Lots of people have done real estate the right way and succeeded wildly. What are the difference in all these people? It's just like the greatest success book of all time. What does it say? It says the day of the Lord is what? It will be both simultaneously great and it will be terrible. How can that be? How can it be great and terrible at the same time? It depends on what? Positioning. What position? Those that are with God, it will be the greatest, most amazing. Those that are against God and not with him, not in relationship. And if you don't know him today, you can, by the way. Just call on him. He will show himself to you like only he can, because you're not promised tomorrow. But that will be the most terrible day of all days. When life is over or he comes back and those that don't know him aren't in relationship with him. Same with not same to that degree, but same principle in real estate. It's both great and terrible. The vehicle of real estate, people have lost everything. That's pretty terrible. Gone bankrupt. Wow, they didn't know things they needed to know. They didn't hitch their wagon to the right mentor that had the experience that could tell them how to avoid the pitfalls, mistakes, landmines. Anybody can have a little success. That's not impressive. It's lasting, perpetual success. That's what you want to have. Most people think, oh, I flipped a house. Oh, I've made a little money. I can do real estate. That's a different sandbox and game than playing abundant multiplication all the time, over time, long term. That's where mentoring comes in. And then fake success, real success, Joe. Fake success, what I call, is making the millions of dollars, hitting all your, what people call success in life, financially or in health, but being bankrupt in our spirit, our relationship with God, our marriage, those things that really matter the most. Yeah. So that's what it's about, holistic success, prospering from the inside out.
David. Yeah, and now you guys can tell he's on fire about this. He truly believes it. He's living it. And that's why I wanted him to come on so he can light a fire underneath y'all about success in life. I'm pretty sure you guys are tired of living paycheck by paycheck, wondering what's next, if there's another event like COVID, what am I going to do? Real estate is the type of vehicle, if done properly, that's why I have David on, if done properly, can keep you stable in times that are turbulent. There are people that just unfortunately lost it all because they didn't properly invest in a mentor or a coach to help them keep on track. And like I said, real estate is a wonderful tool to use to help you keep stability. And thank you, David, for coming on again. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable information and your time. So I know you got the little one in the house, and thank you for taking a little bit of time out with us today and sharing with us timely principles. Because I truly believe, and that's why I love it when we have our coaching calls and everything else, that you talk about mindset and you keep us reminded about the proper mindset to be in the zone of excellence, in the zone of abundance, making sure we're right with God, right mindset. So when we're using these tools, we can truly use it to live an abundant life, not just for ourselves, but like you said, now we can be a blessing to those around us, sharing the wealth of knowledge like you're doing with you and your amazing program, your amazing wife, that she would have been on fire too, believe me. You think he's on fire? She would have been lighting y'all up too if his wife was here, Katie.
Oh yeah, I don't know if they can handle it, man. If they're probably turning me down on the ball, you'd be like, he's too much to handle. Hey, good thing she wasn't here. It'd have been a double barrel blast. We're basically she's the female version of me.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Thanks for having me, Joe. I love what you're doing, man. Excited to let people know about this podcast, because people need to know about leadership, leading themselves, to lead a marriage, to lead a family, a household, to lead their lives in a way that's maximized and abundant in all ways, man. I loved how you just said about turbulent times. And I love one step further than you said, not just staying stable. That's one thing. That would be great, right?
Right.
We lived in abundance in the most turbulent times. So through COVID, we had the biggest financial flow in our rental business ever in the history of over a decade of having rental properties. And so that's the other beautiful, unique factors about real estate, is even in some of the most turbulent times, people that own real estate many times prosper the most in turbulent times. So it's way better than even stability, which people would love to just have stability, but better than stability is abundance. And that's what happens in real estate. And so that's one of the other many amazing things I love about it.
See, guys, we could sit here for another 3 hours, but talking about this.
We might have to do part 2. If you come back, let me know, man. We'll come back. We'll do real estate leadership with Dave part 2.
Outstanding. Well, guys, thank you for listening in. Leave your comments below about what we've discussed. If you have any questions for David, and I can relay it to him. And thank you for your time, guys, here. And thank you again, David. And guys, like I always tell you guys, have just a positive expectation of God's goodness in your life, and you'll have an awesome day. God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you later. A podcast hosted by Joe Dietrich, Joe on the mic, Leader Talk.